Now, you'll notice when I started banging on the cooler, the alligators, of course, started reacting to that sound. The reason for that, alligators are very good to associate things. Unfortunately, they associate those things with food, so they can tell time as good as we can, or they associate places. But more importantly, they associate sound. So I could create any sound. I could honk a horn. I could, bang a drum. We could do anything. But you'll notice I'm the only guy out here with a cooler. So this is a sound that is specifically that we recreate that lets these animals know that it's dinner time. I mean, their brain is relatively small in comparison to their stomach, which is what really gets them in trouble. Alligators are 100% opportunistic in nature, and so I always tell people, if you don't want to be eaten by an alligator, don't make yourself an opportunity. So
that's right.
Unfortunately, they'll take advantage of certain opportunities. Those opportunities may be things like household pets, they may be small livestock items, but a lot of it's not necessarily the alligator's undoing. It's just areas that used to be creeks and swamps have now turned into waterfront property. So unfortunately, the alligator loses out 100% of the time, but the good news is once these alligators are declared a nuisance or threat, if they're lucky, they get brought here to Alligator Alley where they get to live out their days eating pork chops, chasing us around, so it's not a bad gig when you get down to it. And these animals will get to live here the rest of their lives doing what you see them do right now, which is not a whole lot. We don't turn them into boots or shoes or wallets or anything, so some of these animals will probably more than likely outlive me. I hope they have nothing to do with it, because the life expectancy, oh, there's the devil, my biggest three-legged fella. Life expectancy in the wild is about 50 years. In captivity, believe it or not, mid-70s is not out of their capacity. So when you take into account, don't worry, I'm going to stick my head in his mouth next. What shortens their life is the constant fight for a limited resource. So when we talk about limited resources, food is a limited resource. However, we feed an animal known as the feral pig. If you do not have feral pigs where you live, trust me, wait, you'll eventually get them. So these feral pigs have got to be removed from the environment. So unfortunately, we'll never get rid of them. Fortunately, it is an unlimited food supply. Secondly, right now, we are kind of smack dab in the middle of alligator breeding season, so you're going to have fights and territorial disagreements over that. We have a very good ratio as far as males to females. It's actually about 4-to-1. In the wild, it would be much heavier weighted in the males versus females. But because we have a very high female to male population, hey, what's up, old yeller? Our guys don't necessarily have to fight for those females, and so there's no stress, which no stress means you get to live longer, you get to lay around, and you get fat. Sound like a good job?
Yep.
So, we should all be so lucky, right? So at the end of the day, that life expectancy could possibly, like some of these younger fellas up here, could be extended again 25-50% longer. So the opportunity for some of these guys and girls to live into those mid-70s, now that they're here, is very, very realistic. Now, you notice my man, the devil over here that jumped up and tried to eat me a second ago. You get in the water, get back. This is where an alligator makes his living. Alligators are, by nature and by design, aquatic ambush predators. Now, what that means is they don't hunt up here. You'll see, they're laying up here on the bank, they're loving life, soaking up the sun, but they're not built to run things down. It's not that they're not fast. I mean, alligators can run, 12, 13 miles per hour, but their ability is to be concealed and then in a split second use that powerful tail to lunge about half their body length, take those extremely powerful jaws, engage said creature, drag it back into the water, and then just use that tremendous frame to hold that animal underwater. And when you talk about what an alligator is capable of fighting,